Welcome
I have no idea what's going on, guys. This could be a major fiasco.
to Lighting for Profits, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. Powered by Emery Allen. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
And I'm just like, okay, is this where I get beat up in front of my friends? Like, what's going to happen?
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
That's what I like.
Now, here is your host, Ryan Lee.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in the world. Yep. I asked my mom the other day. She said we're still number one. Feels good. It feels really, really good. Guys, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you over the next little bit. Today we've got an awesome show lined up. We've got Mr. Captain Matt Martoccio with the Christmas Guys and Barefoot Lighting. So, man, if you want to get inspired, you want to talk to someone who is doing very, very well in business, who's got a bright future in front of them and want to learn from one of the pros in the industry, then you're definitely going to want to stick around. Really looking forward to today's show. In fact, you like when you meet someone and you're like, man, we're going to be friends, but you don't say it out loud, because if you said it out loud, they'd be like, this guy's a creep, I think that's what I thought when I first met this guy. Going on, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that. And so I guess, sorry, Matt, now you know. Okay. So now it was like, I met him, I'm like, we're going to be friends. Like, you're going to be lifelong friends with people when you meet them. And that's who this is today. So guys, you're definitely going to want to stick around. We're going to have some fun. Obviously we're trying to elevate the industry. We're trying to educate and do all these other things and motivate to help you dominate, but we like to have fun as well. So we're going to, I think we're going to play some Would You Rather today. So if you guys like that, Would You Rather, we're going to kind of get to know Matt on a personal level and find out some of the ins and out of his life. So looking forward to that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to, of course, thank Emery Allen for their partnership. They've done a lot for the lighting community. They've done a lot for us here at Lighting for Profits. And they're doing amazing work. You guys know, in terms of like light quality, nothing hurts a quality landscape lighting install quite like flickering bulbs, a yellow fringe around the perimeter of the beam spread, or bulbs that burn out after a few on and off cycles. Do not jeopardize your customer's experience by using a budget bulb. Okay. If you're still shopping on Amazon and Home Depot and all that stuff, like, you've got problems. I'm just here to tell you. All right. If you want to go out of your way to provide a world-class customer experience, choose Emery Allen. At the end of the day, it's what's on the inside that counts. So take advantage of Emery Allen's world-class customer service and 10% off your first order for new clients. And the best part is you can deal directly with the owner to get your account set up. It's Tom Garber. Just email him, tomg@emeryallen.com, to get more information, get your account set up, and get discounted contractor pricing. You're not going to want to miss out on it. Just mention Lighting for Profits when you email tomg@emeryallen.com. So, guys, like I said, we got Matt Martoccio coming on with Barefoot Lighting and the Christmas Guys. So, yeah, we're going to talk about Christmas, and we're going to talk about landscape lighting. And the guy's a total stud. He's constantly putting out videos and content and helping people. I don't even know how he has time to do what he's doing, because even I'll check and like he's helping people out. He has no clue who these people are in Facebook groups and everything else. So he's definitely a guy that leads with value and is all about helping the community and trying to elevate it as well. So I'm super excited to have him on. And before we have him on, I want to talk to you about something real quick. So in the book Atomic Habits, if you've not read it, make sure to read that one. It's a really good one. Atomic Habits. James Clear, the author, he says, the greatest threat to success is boredom. And, I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds pretty good. Like, the greatest threat to success is boredom. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's definitely a great success to boredom, or a great threat to success is boredom. As entrepreneurs, we love building, right? Do you guys agree with me? Like, it feels good to start something. And so we jump in and we're just going all hardcore, and we start the thing, right? And it makes us not bored. And so we can be successful, right? That's what he said. That if we're not bored, then we're going to be successful. Well, then after we start the business, it becomes challenging because now we have to run it. It's like the fun part is starting it. Now we have to actually run it. Wait, what? Like I have to hire people, I have to train. Lame. Like I don't want to run a business. I mean, here's the list: recruiting, hiring, training, firing, answering phones, customer service, marketing, advertising, branding, answering phones, managing, leading, accounting, sales, design, follow up, answering phones, inventory, purchasing, invoicing, receivables. I can keep going. Oh, here I go. Maintenance, payables, planning, budgeting. Okay. It's really hard. Systematizing, answering phones. It just keeps going, right? There's this huge list, and no one ever told us all that. It was just like, man, start your own business and get freedom, whatever. It's like that's BS, right? So the fun thing is starting it. The hard part is running it, and this is when most people quit. This is one of the reasons why most businesses don't last is because it's a lot more fun to start them than to build them and run them, right? And the reason people quit is because it's hard. It's really, really hard. And the fun, it's not fun anymore. And it's called work, and most people actually don't, they realize, I don't really want to work. And so as entrepreneurs, we really can't stand the actual growing part. And so it's really easy to get distracted. And we get distracted by the shiny object. And maybe this has happened to you. It was so hard for me when I was running my lighting business. People would be like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome!" And do you guys do like? Could you guys build a pool? I'm like, Majestic Outdoor Lighting. Like, no, did you not see our name? But I was like, heck yeah, I could build a pool. Like, I know all the subs. Like, I could easily do that. And it would be so easy to get in the pool business. But I kept going back to the reason, and I tell them the reason why you love us is because we're so good. We're so focused on one thing. And if got into pools and we did all these other things, then I promise you wouldn't be bragging to your neighbors about us. And we'd be just like everybody else out there that's really not focused and is not really an expert, right? And it's because we stayed focused and we were an expert in that one thing, why we were so successful and why we would get those raving reviews, right? So, just a reminder, just a challenge: stay focused, and understand that there's no such thing as an overnight success. And that's what's hard with social media and just the internet. It's real easy to see someone talking and like about their successes or whatever and think, oh man, like I can't do that, right? And most people think of overnight successes as overnight successes, but most overnight successes take like 10 to 15 years. And you just didn't see the heartache that they went through and all these other things they're constantly pushing uphill. And it's a lot of work, right? And it's because they stayed focused that they were able to become a quote unquote overnight success. So if you stay focused, it can happen much faster than, a 10 to 15-year overnight success. But the key is don't get distracted or discouraged, right? Now, on the flip side, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and you're not getting a positive result, not moving forward, then you're actually just crazy. That's literally the definition of insane. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So you might need to check yourself. All right. So you might need to check yourself and make sure that you're not crazy. But if you're working and you're constantly evolving and you're coming up with new ideas, new strategies, and implementing, and you're moving forward, then you're doing good. That's what you want to do, right? And you're that much closer to your version of success, right? And so don't feel like getting distracted and starting something new is going to solve the problem. If you have problems now and you take them into another industry or another thing, you're going to have problems then. So um, it's totally appropriate to have multiple streams of income. That's a wealth strategy out there, and I like it. I do it myself. But what most people don't get right is they'll get 50% with their first one and then get distracted and get 50% on the next one. And then they're really not an expert at anything. They haven't really mastered one thing very well. So I would recommend and challenge you to master the one thing well before you get into the next thing and then master that one. So, and if this is speaking to you, if this sounds like you, um, you know, what if you like the starting and not the building, right? Um, are you normal? Yes, you're normal. Like that's normal. But here's what to do. not just start and then give up. Like start it and then hire a builder, right? Hire someone that likes what you don't like. Team up with someone, partner with someone, hire someone, acquire, merge, do whatever you got to do to get someone in that seat. And again, this may sound simple, like as I said, it sounds simple, but like no one ever told me this. I never, no one ever gave me this permission, right? I didn't know that I could just hire someone to do the things that I didn't want to do. I thought being an entrepreneur meant that I had to like come up with the idea and execute it, that I had to see the whole thing through. And it's like, that's just not true. So I'm giving you permission to hire your replacement, hire that thing that you don't want to do. Right. And if you don't like running the business, then get someone to do it for you. Right. Or maybe you do like running the business, but you're not good at coming up with ideas. Well, hire someone to do that for you. So just do whatever you need to do to ensure that you keep moving forward. Don't stall. Don't get distracted. Commit yourself to excellence and keep moving forward. And when you've accomplished that, then sure, again, you can look around, get into other things, but don't run from the thing, the thing that you're struggling with to the next thing, expecting a different result. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble. And it's called the shiny object syndrome. They just bounce from thing to thing to thing. And it's frustrating because you're like, man, I should be better at this. But again, most people just aren't putting enough time or effort into the thing that they're trying to be good at. So that's my advice for you today. Stay focused, keep moving forward. Don't get distracted by those shiny objects. So all right, guys, are you guys ready? Should we have Matt come on and join us? I think we should. Let's find the music and let's go. You guys ready? All right. Welcome to the show, Mr. Captain Matt.
Hey, Ryan. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
I like the pump up music. It's like the Tony Robbins stuff come on.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, exactly. My goal, I know people are going to think it's weird, especially in the lighting community, but we're going to do it like a Tony Robbins style lighting event one day.
I'll be there.
I'm just going to put that out there right now. Have you been to one of his events?
No, it's on one of my lists that gets pushed to the side.
Yeah, we should go sometime. I saw him speak at a marketing conference once, and it was like literally a 4-hour talk thing, whatever. But it didn't feel like 4 hours because you're like right. At the club, and stuff like that.
Sure. Oh.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on here, man. This is something I'm really looking forward to because we met I don't know, it was like a year and a half ago or something like that at what was it called?
Trans World.
That's
I don't know what year. Not this year, year before.
So we met there, and I was like, "Man, that's a cool dude." Then we got to you joined my program, which has been fun because I've got to know you a little bit better there, inside Landscape Lighting Secrets, and I feel completely blessed, honestly, to have you in that program because for me, it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be like the coach here, helping people, but I get so much out of it, surrounding myself with people that I want to be like when I grow up. You know what I mean? And you're a giver. You're helping other people in the community and stuff like that. So thanks for trusting me and jumping into the program.
Yeah, man. I remember meeting you at Trans World. It's funny. You were doing your little spiel there. And when I got back here, I was like, yo, I met this guy. I don't even think I was calling you Ryan at this point, but I was like, I think his name was Paul, and he was awesome. And then I found you on Facebook. I was like, yo, check out his videos. This is something that, I think it was from like March to October. I sat on the fence about you, and then jumped in and was like, man, should have jumped in March, but
that's awesome.
Can't go backwards.
I think his name was Paul. That's cool.
I found you in the end. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Well, I want to dig in and ask you about yourself because you've got a cool story. You've got cool experiences. You've got goats now. I mean, it's pretty wild. But let's talk about how you got in the industry. You started with Christmas lights.
Correct.
Why'd you decide to start your own business and Christmas lights and all that?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to have my own business. I've had a lot of startups that, were bad ideas, if you will. And then My son was, I think it was like his second Christmas. So it was like he needed gifts, right? And so Santa needed some money, and I've always loved decorating. I used to decorate even as a kid for my neighbors, and that was back when I get paid in literally hot cocoa and fig Newtons. And so I'll never forget. I was carrying a Christmas tree outside, and I was like, "Babe, do you think people will pay me to do this?" And I was in 2009, I think it was, and yeah, that's how it all started. And then I'll never forget that first year. I printed out a bunch of paper right from a normal printer, 8x10, just shoving in people's mailboxes. I got 3 clients that first year, and I was king of the world.
Heck yeah.
$3,000, baby.
Yes, year one results. Case study.
That's right. That's right.
But I love the fact that you didn't know what else to do. I mean, you're like, well, I'll just do this. And it actually worked. And that gave you motivation for the next season. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say often in the Facebook groups, Facebook, if it was a thing, it wasn't a thing when I was getting started. So it was just, I had to make all my own mistakes and pay for all my own mistakes. And so, I didn't have a mentor or coach at that point for anything. So to see all the help with these new guys, man, you save people hundreds of thousands of dollars. just listen to what people are telling you.
Well, what's on your mind? Because I see you helping like a ton of people, and I'm like, dude, like, listen to this guy. Like he's done the hard way and the easy way kind of thing. What motivates you to do that? Get on there and spend time out of your day to do that.
As odd as it seems, like I really like helping people. I like to see other people succeed. Like even the other day, I met with a local company, very low. I used to be his neighbor, and he's good looking to get into Christmas lighting. And he already does landscape lighting. And I was like, before you get in it, let's chat, let's talk. I even offered to have his guys come work with me for this year. I'll train his whole company so he can go start his own new one next year. Like I'm very big on I'm not worried about competition, because more than one person can be successful. It's not, so there's Walmart, there's Target, there's McDonald's, there's Burger King. No reason to be so, which I used to be. I'm like, get out of here.
I know. It depends on which day you catch me, but like Home Depot and Lowe's, they intentionally try to be right by each other because, they know they're eventually helping each other out. Someone's driving to Lowe's and like, oh, there's a Home Depot, I'll just go there anyway,
Sure.
So
right.
It is all about having that abundance mindset. And you hear it in books, or I guess you read it in books or hear it in audiobooks. You hear coaches talk about it, stuff like that. And it gets skipped over a lot, but it's true. Like once you flip and you have that abundance mindset, man, your world changes. And you're not so focused on what others, you're just focused on like how you can make the world a better place. And like that's when businesses take off.
Yeah, it's like I'm joking. Like I like people now. Not everyone's like a threat. When you're so close-minded, everybody's a threat, even if they're not in your industry. It's like, that guy's putting a fence up. Now they're not going to use me for lights. It's just silliness that like you said, when you first start, you don't even think about, right? You just like, I'm going to be my own boss and I'm going to make so much money. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to go on vacation 9 months of the year. And this is easy, Turns out that's not accurate.
Still figuring that one out. Well, speaking of vacations, 9 months a year, tell me about your outfit. Tell me about your name, Captain Matt. I feel like you are on vacation 9 months a year.
I try mentally. Mentally.
Where did Captain come from?
Yeah, so I mean, all the guys just used to just call me Captain because I was always here first and last, and obviously it was their boss at that point. And also for most of the year, I'm barefoot. Besides this year because of an injury, but I'm barefoot most of the year, and all my wardrobe is Tommy Bahama. So it kind of just stuck. And then one of my mentors told me to embrace it and just make it its own brand. So it's easy. I didn't have to buy. Now when I buy wardrobe, I'm like, I tell my accountant, that's advertising dollars. That's not anything else. Because
well, I love it because I don't know how much of it was intentional or you're just like, no, this is just what I wear, whatever. But like, you've got your own brand, you've got your own persona, you've got all this stuff. You're doing your YouTube videos and Facebook and all this stuff. And I think it's done a lot for you. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what do you do? Like, you were at the mastermind event, and I haven't done a lot of Facebook lives, but like that's how I've grown my business. And here you are, you're interviewing other people and other, like you got so much content out of that one weekend, And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that guy is so smart. And I look around, no one else is doing it. So can you talk to us a little bit about what you do and how what that strategy is like?
Yeah, sure. And real quick about the shirts, the reason I knew, so this is what I always wore, and I try to be more professional. But I went to a chamber event for my marketing company, and my partner was like, "I just need you here," and I'm like, "I'm not dressed for business." So I went in my normal Tommy Bahama white shorts. I had flip flops on because they wanted shoes, and everyone wanted to talk to me. The leader of the event literally had to come say, "Hey, can you please sit down and stop talking to people?" Because everyone else was in suits and everything. So I just stood out, but I stood out in an okay way, right? It wasn't like a dunce standing out. It was like, what? They literally said, "What the hell is this guy doing? Like, who is he? I have to know." So kind of embraced. I was like, "Oh, I can wear what I love. Let's go." And with the video aspect, that was twofold. Is we made videos back when I first started. I mean, I've got Walmart Christmas lights on that table on my first videos, talking about how
Really?
amazing,
How
and
awesome the Walmart lights are.
right. No, these are professional grade. We open them a different way, But what I realized from making those is almost every single client mentioned them. I'm like, really? Like, talk for 5 minutes about if we took credit cards or not. And so I really learned that the right clients, I don't need a lot of views, but the right views, those clients are watching and they feel like they know you're building a relationship with them before you even meet them, which has been awesome. And also a little strange because like people would know about my injury that happened this year. And I'm like, okay, they watch my videos because I'm like, I just met them. But it really builds the relationship aspect. And I get more people messaging me on Facebook and Instagram, really asking me for advice just because I'm always out there. I'm always, some of my videos, I did one like in a Taco Bell parking lot the other day, waiting in line, right? But doing that really opens up your audience. It helps also, they know who you are, right? It's not manufactured or anything. So you get the right, if they don't like me, that's okay. They're not going to call me. So the people that are watching my videos, they must like me if they keep watching them, right? So I made a promise to do a video a day for an entire year to see what would happen, and that started this year, January 1st. And I missed a handful of days, but it's been amazing. It really has. It's insane. So
I love it, dude. I love watching your journey. It's not like I catch everyone or anything like that, but it's such a brilliant strategy. And what you just said was like they have that relationship. I started doing it for this business. I wish I would have thought about it. I wish I would have watched Lighting for Profits 10 years ago and Matt telling me to do this because you can't fake it. You can't you can't, I mean, someone could try to copy it, but like you are Captain Matt. Like I'm not Captain Matt. So like people are gonna be naturally attracted to you. And again, the authenticity comes out because if you're gonna do a video a day, good luck scripting that. You know what I mean? Like you're
yeah,
just at some point you're gonna let down your guard, you're gonna be who you are, you're gonna show your bare feet, you're gonna wear, you're gonna wear your Tommy Bahama clothes, and people are gonna be like, this guy's awesome. Like, you know what? When we're ready to do lighting, we're not ready now. When we're ready to do lighting, this is who we're going to be. I'm going to hit the follow button so we can always know where he's at. And this is it. And so when you get there, it's not even a competition anymore. Like they're going to do lighting. It's just a matter of like, when are you going to do it? It's not like, well, can you do it cheaper? Like, well, yeah, who are you going to choose? Someone that
yeah,
you
right,
don't have a relationship with already?
right. Yeah, I remember it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Time's a little shaky, but showed up to this guy's house and he didn't know I was coming. I was helping train on Christmas estimate. And he came out of the house and he yelled into his wife, Captain Matt's here. Captain Matt's here. From
Yes.
that moment in time, I was like, well, this is going to be money. Just it's done. I don't even need to do anything. And then it's amazing how quick they open up to you too. So you get to build real relationships. I tell all my clients, I'm not looking to sell you a lighting job. I'm looking to build a relationship because one job doesn't mean anything to me, right? I mean, it might cover payroll, but it doesn't build any legacy. It doesn't build a business. It's just one job. I don't want to just be one job, one job, one job. When you think about lighting, I want you to think about Captain Matt. So that's
Love
the
that.
goal.
That is awesome. And that's how you build a residual business, you know. It is through those relationships. Another thing that I really liked you said is it doesn't really matter about the number of views because we live in a society now where it's like, well, how many likes, how many views? And like even when I started doing it, I mean, that's what I was like, oh shoot, it's just Lindsay and my mom, 2
Yeah.
views. And then I would watch it to get to 3 views, but um, it didn't matter because eventually same thing happened to me when I started reaching out to people and I'm like, hey, my name's Ryan Lee. I used to own this lighting business. Now I started this coaching business. People are like, oh yeah, I saw your video with your family and it's skiing or whatever. I'm like, you did? No, there was only 3 views. I saw there was 3 views.
Sure.
But someone found it later and all this stuff, and stuff gets shared and you can't keep track of that stuff. So it doesn't matter. Like someone's always gonna find it. Someone's looking for you right now, right? Someone
Right.
is in need and it doesn't matter. They're looking for Captain Matt. They're looking for so and so in another state. Like someone needs a professional landscape lighting installer right now, or Christmas lights, whatever you're doing. And this, if you're not building that relationship, you're missing out. So I love what you're doing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been fun, and you talk about not scripted. I thought I had enough. Like, oh, it's be easy. Sometimes, like, what am I going to talk about? Like, who's going to care? But it turns out, as the year goes on, you get more and more views, and the right people are watching it. The cool thing, and also the thing I can't capitalize on financially right now, is I get leads from like everywhere at this point. Which right now I'm very northeastern of the country, but it just shows you the power of building real relationships.
Yeah. Well, that's what I saw you doing at the mastermind that we had. What was cool is I just kind of overheard a couple of the interviews you were doing with people, and you were doing filming yourself and all that, and you were promoting them.
Right.
Like, hey, if you're in Arizona, if you're in Idaho, whoever you were talking to at the time, and that was cool because again, you do have this following that's not just in your like one city there, and so it's always good to help other people out. And but I think it's awesome. It's just a great example. So I want to talk a little bit about Christmas lights, and then we'll jump into landscape lights if that's okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
what it seems like you've shared this a little bit on some of the groups and stuff like that, but what is your sales process like when you get someone that's like, okay, I saw the Captain Matt video, I want Christmas lights. How does that go down?
Sure. So, I mean, it starts obviously with that first phone call, and then I'm big on the whole experience. So it's a little different for each company. So for Christmas though, it's all nostalgia based, it's all very happy, elf like. So first we just start talking about, what made them call us, what are they looking for, and they're always referencing their childhood. I mean, I think 99% of the people, right? They're trying to looking to give their kids the same thing they had, those happy memories we all look back on. We're just all chasing childhood. Um, so we just we go over our averages, look at what they're trying to get done, and then depending on where it is, like in terms of what month. So right now we go meet with the people typically for Christmas. After we give them an average, start that relationship with them, and then from there we collect 100% deposit at this point, just because it's too hard chasing money during Christmas. And then then it goes into the install schedule. So, and then come probably October, we don't really leave the office for the sales process. All done Google Satellite or Google Earth, and pictures from the clients and all that. So process pretty straightforward though. It's kind of
So,
linear.
yeah, once you get to October, then that's when you're just like, yep, we'll send us the pictures or we'll look your house up online, whatever, and we'll send you the quote.
Yeah, actually, so once it comes to October, we know it's not worth it to leave. One of our qualifying things is we ask them to send in pictures, and if they won't send in pictures, we don't continue to pursue them, because it's a very simple thing. And if they're not going to send in a picture, they're not going to hire us, or there's plenty of other people that are gonna. So it's kind of one of the things we use to qualify.
Okay, cool. And then obviously you have good enough. I don't know if it's a closing percentage, but you close enough of those people where you're like, yeah, we don't have to do the ones where we either have to go to their house or follow up with them and say, send us photos and all that.
Yeah, correct. When it comes to Christmas, we there's too much work. I mean, in terms of literally, we could not do it all. So it's like how Uber does its pricing and its whole model, where it's a surge, right? You got like 50 days. You got to get everything done. So I try to. That's why I even try to meet anybody else who does holiday decorating in my area, and I refer people to them that I know that I can't get to, because I still want that client doesn't care in real life whether it's the Christmas guys or Ryan's lights, right? They're looking to do Christmas for their family. So I try to meet everybody so I can, hey, I can't do it, but I know a guy that can. So
Love it. Yeah, and I think a lot of people underestimate that. They're like, well, why, I'm not going to I'm not going to help my competition or whatever. But when you add value like that to someone, they remember that. It's like,
sure.
I called him, he couldn't do it, but he referred me to someone. And like, there's just so many experiences I've had where if you have someone, or if someone asks you, like, hey, do you guys build pools? Instead of saying no, it's saying, actually, yeah, I've got a couple that I could refer to you. Like, that adds value to your business. Like, because now you're like the guy that has all the answers all the time. If it's not you, it's somebody that you know.
Certainly. Yeah.
So when you scale your business, how do you have, like, any tips you can share? Like, how do you manage the day to day, and how do you ensure all these clients stay happy in this tight, 2 to 3 months?
Well, first off, that's where relationships come in really handy. I want to be honest, right? Because there's a lot going on in very little time. So when you build a relationship, whether it's me, whether it's one of the sales guys, that relationship allows us to have that leniency of when a mistake does happen, because they do, and they always will. It's not like the end of the world. We always make it right. So it's not just stuff you read in books. That relationship is the key difference, right? Because when we mess up, it's, I'll used to say, like, well, I plan this in. I know you're going to have a party. You're going to get drunk. You're going to turn the lights off. You don't know how to turn them back on. The one guy, he called me. He's like, I can get this for $1,000 cheaper from this other company that just knocked on my door. And I told him that story. I said, well, I know you're going to have a Christmas party. You're all going to get drunk. You're going to mess with all the lights. He's like, you're right. I'm like, and I know this. It's already on the calendar. We know what's going to happen. And he's like, you're right. I'm sorry. Send me the bill. And so that relationship matters. But we have a CRM. Without a CRM, before we had a CRM, I promise you there's people we forgot about. So CRM is key. I remember getting like a call in April, and it was like, hey, Matt, you going to come take the lights down? I'm like, who is this?
It's actually on the calendar for tomorrow.
That's right. I was like, well, you wanted them for Easter, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, CRM is really key for scaling, kind of where you can see where everyone is. We have different boards for like fixed requests that come in, maintenance requests, install needed, takedown needed, all of it. So that's the only way that I can see to actually scale. Otherwise, it's trying to use spreadsheets or notebooks. Doesn't work.
And then how about how many Christmas light crews will you have this season?
Probably 5. We're shooting for this season.
How are you like managing them to make sure that they understand like which jobs they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to be decorated, and all that, and Matt's not in 5 different places at once?
Sure. So I do have an operations manager and a field manager, so that's really helpful. But before all that, I was the field man. I was everything. So basically, I just print out the internal invoice for each client that they're supposed to do that day. I write on the bottom, should be 1 hour, 1.5, however long I think it should take. And they have a stack. Now we have binders, metal binders, they can keep it in. And they come back when that stack is done. And we have the warehouse where every client has their own, it's all labeled. So they fill up the trailer with everyone from that day. And then they leave and they come back and do it again the next day. So it's just that is paper. They do have access to the CRM on their phone, but I've seen, at least in New York, it gets so cold in the winter. Phones die so quick. You got to take your gloves off to use your phone. So that is one area where we still use pen and paper for sure.
Okay. Well, if you like it, do you like where you're at now, or are there days where you're like, I should have just stayed small? I liked it better when I was just doing, the handful of installs by myself, or maybe with one other guy. Because there's kind of 2 different camps there. There's the people that they kind of fight it and they want to stay small. And then there's people like me. It's like, you got to scale, you got to grow. And like, you don't necessarily have to, but that's just what I found was easier. I felt it was easier growing a business, because then you could have the operations manager, you could have You could be in multiple places at once, essentially. So, but what are your thoughts on that? Are you in a better place now, or you're like, no, maybe I should revert?
Depends on the day. Those are the days I call you, like, Ryan, I'm gonna hit the eject button. I'm gonna do it. But no, in obviously there's times it's a roller coaster, right? But the vast majority of the time I am happy. It's in my nature to grow. So even if I tried to go back to like 4 guys doing Christmas, making lots of money in your pocket, I would be like, hey, imagine if we had another crew. Like I know what
Yeah.
happens. So I can't go backwards. I do love it. It's definitely it's totally different business though. It's weird now. I don't meet every client, right? I don't know every client's, like I can see them and not know who they are, right? So that is it's running totally different. Systems change dramatically. So, but
Yeah.
I like it. I want to keep growing. I keep going and going and going.
Okay, you heard it here live, guys. So when Matt calls me next week, I'll be like, "No, you actually already said you're keep growing." So
That's right.
there's those times. I mean, you've recently gone through some experiences where you're like, it's not working with certain employees or team members, whatever. There's those times where you're like, yeah, maybe I should, but I think you've tasted enough of the sweetness to know, no, I know where this company needs to be, even though it loses some of its intimacy. You don't know all the clients' first and last names, and you don't know everyone and what their dog's name and stuff like that is, but it still feels right to you.
It does, and it's fun because I get, I do love lighting. It's not a gimmick. Like I love lighting. And I think it just changes your world. I literally tell people we change people's lives. I believe that deep down because I know it to be true. Like when you have proper illumination at your house, your life is different, like hands down. So the fact that we get to help more people is amazing.
Oh man, if you guys aren't paying attention, you need to start paying attention because what you're saying, Matt, is awesome because most people they're not convinced themselves that people need lighting. Like I
Mm.
can tell, like you're convinced. I'm the same way. It's like if you're not convinced, then why would you expect your customers to be convinced? Like you said,
Right.
it's not a gimmick. Like they'll see right through that stuff. So, but once you're convinced that people need lighting, and I'm convinced of it, I convinced myself of that years ago. And a lot of people are like, well, technically, and it's like, no, technically they do. Like if you really want to argue with me, I will not lose. So mental health, all these other things, like they need lighting. So once you're convinced of that, it's pretty easy to convince someone to go ahead and move forward because like if your grandma needed oxygen and she was dying and you would convince her grandma just take the oxygen. You wouldn't be like,
Mhm.
well, it's kind of a want at this point, like, I'll let her think about it. No, she's not gonna think about it, she's gonna die. So,
Right.
I'm not gonna let people think about lighting because they need it. And if I leave, then someone else is gonna convince them that they need crappy lighting or less lighting or maybe that they don't even need it, right? So, that's my duty, on this earth to convince people that they need lighting.
Absolutely. 100%.
Alright, so, let's talk about landscape lighting.
Sure.
Why, at what point, like yeah, what point were you like, "Well, I should do something not holiday lighting. Why should get into landscape lighting?"
Yeah, so throughout the years, people have called me for it, and I was just no, because I was strictly Christmas. So to try to get crews together and all that during the year for one job, it wouldn't even be worth it, right? So, but we went to, I want to say 2 years ago, we went full time in terms of I had staff all year, and at that point, then I needed them to do something.
Right.
So
But
we were.
so they were all year, and then you're like, "Well, what am I gonna have them do?" Right?
Well, yeah, first I was like, do inventory. Obviously, we just did Christmas light takedowns. And then it was like, 2 weeks later, they're like, now what? It's like, oh, right. Now what? Um,
So
so
initially, it's more just to like, okay, this is a solution to keep people busy throughout the year.
100%. I started with color changing soffit lights. I love them. But everyone was asked for the landscape light and they were calling us. Obviously, barefoot lighting, you probably should have landscaping. Or you should be doing something more than just soffits. So yeah, I did my first actual install last June for as our own company. So
Okay.
for landscape lighting,
Yep.
and it's been, I can't believe it's only been a little over a year now. Feels like so much longer. Obviously, I've been in lighting for a lot longer, and I've done other things with other people, but
Why does it feel like so much longer? Because you're like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I got to get out of here. Ryan Lee, leave me alone.
there's been times for sure, right? Like, every January is like that because you get through the Christmas rush. But it's been amazing. I mean, the lighting and the clients, it's been great dealing with the business end of things, right? That's why when people say they want to start a business, I'm like, make sure you really do, because you can have a lot of fun growing inside of a company where you don't have the weight. I get 8 families that if I make a mistake, they all pay the price, right? There's a lot of weight involved outside of just the normal, make sure you have good designs and good install and good marketing. There's all that personal responsibility that you take on because people are counting on you more than just your own core family. And it's a lot to deal with. So that, I think, breaks to most people that I see is just, oh my gosh, I just, we all get in, like you said, oh, it's gonna be great, freedom. But as I grow and I have the right people and the right staff, I've had a lot of great people that just didn't fit in. Whatever, they're not bad people, they just didn't fit into this organization. And now when I can run up to my mom's camp for a weekend, I go to Utah and not worry, right? I know it's going to continue to run as if I was here, and that's been amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So is it barefoot lighting just because you like to go around barefoot most of the time?
Yeah, basically that's kind of, I don't really know where it came from. It was kind of like barefoot. I'm like, I needed a name. Okay. So it was like, everyone kept calling like, oh, I don't want Christmas lights, because we're selling landscape lighting and soffits. And I was like, I kept saying, we were meeting with teams. I was meeting with advertisers. I'm like, we need to break people's mind from Christmas lights. And whoever said it, well, maybe you shouldn't have Christmas in your name. I was like, spent 13 years building this brand and thousands upon thousands of dollars, but just change the name. And I needed it quick, and I love being barefoot. So it just kind of happened.
So the first time I heard the name, I was like, that's odd. Like, why barefoot lighting? And then as soon as you say barefoot lighting or you see it, what's your slogan?
We'll knock your socks off.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Barefoot lighting will knock your socks off. And what do you do when you get to, is this on every quote? Like what's your process for when you get and you meet them the first time?
That's some fun. That's another experience. It's like the whole backyard vacation vibe experience. And so we do, I'm gonna bend down on a picture, but yeah. So when we meet people, we usually have, this is an example. I hand them one of this and they usually look at it and say, what is this? We say, well, it's a pair of socks. You're going to need that. I'm about to knock your socks off. And so that little thing gets the ice broken, gets them laughing. Got like, cat socks because ladies love cats. It's one of those little things that,
because ladies love cats.
it's you gonna argue with that?
Oh, I'm definitely not gonna argue.
But
that's awesome. But the thing is, I love about it, you've got like a ton of these little unique things, and those add up big time. And of course, they're gonna remember Captain Matt. Of course, they're gonna remember the Tommy Bahama stuff, the socks. What do we need? I mean, it's like they're feeding right into it, Oh, what do we need these for? You're like, let them know, Johnny.
right.
It's awesome. Well, we're about to knock your socks off. So of course they're going to remember that, So I love your creativity. Your brand is cool. Your branding colors are awesome. Both brands, the Christmas guys and the barefoot lighting, and just the way that you've got like 2 colors and simple and bold and all that stuff. So yeah, well done on all that stuff.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we take that pretty seriously. I said you can get lighting anywhere. You can go down to Home Depot and get lighting, but that's why I swear the lighting doesn't matter, right? Because if you have nothing, and then you put crappy lights on from the guy who mows the lawn, to that client, they're like, "Oh my, this looks great," and it does. From what they had, what they're used to, it looks so much better. So that experience becomes more important because they don't know the difference between 2 lights on a tree and 1 light on a tree. They just go from nothing to light. So obviously it looks good to them because they don't know what to compare it to. So the experience has been really important for me. Now you've broken me from a lot of the demos. But when Captain Matt gets fully involved, we do demos. We'll be doing one tomorrow. And the demos are party, man. I bring a cooler. I got rum, obviously, Captain Matt.
Duh.
I got wine. I got the mixed drinks, and it's just a full blown party. And like I tell the clients, I want you to drink so that you make decisions I like more. So I'm upfront with them about it, and they go starting that. It's a whole big thing. So
I love it.
it's,
That's the key. Is again, it's not just a demo; it's a party. Like
right.
everything you're doing is one thing, at least one thing different than anyone else is doing. So, I think that's it's probably one of the biggest reasons why you're so successful. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but definitely those types of things add up.
Sure.
Hey, I want to play a quick game. Is that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's time to play. What would you rather with Matt Martoccio? All right, that was cheesy. All right. So,
is this the interview for like co-hosting or what? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Rather host your own podcast or be a co-host? No. All right. So, would you rather? Would you rather be on a reality show of your choice or cancel all reality shows?
No, be on a reality show. Absolutely, 100%.
Which one?
Well, currently, me and my wife are on like a Survivor kick. We started back from the beginning, and we're watching.
Okay.
So, I love Survivor. Currently, it changes by the month, Ryan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I tried to get my wife to go on Amazing Race.
Oh yeah,
she declined like for 20 years because she's like, no, we'll just fight and get divorced. So I'm like, well, we don't have to. Well, of course we're gonna fight. That's why we would make it on the show, because we're gonna fight.
Right.
What they want.
Let's say my wife. That's my wife's like, I'm not doing Survivor. I'm not doing Amazing Race. Nope, not happening. But yeah, man.
All right. Would you rather get an at-bat in a Major League Baseball game or a small speaking part in a Spielberg movie?
I guess a small speaking part. I don't do the sports balls thing.
Sports balls. Yeah. I would do sports balls. I think I would do an at-bat in a Major League Baseball game.
Nice.
All right. Okay. This is kind of interesting. Would you rather be called, I mean, speaking of Captain Matt, would you rather be a supervillain called Captain Condiment
Okay.
or known as the pharmacist? What the heck?
I mean, I'm going to go with the supervillain so I can keep Captain. It'll be cheaper for branding purposes.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe your crew can start calling you Captain Condiment.
Bring mustard with me? I don't know.
Yeah, just ketchup and mustard all the time. Oh, this is disgusting. Would you rather pop a blister with a straw and suck out the juice, or drop a Mentos in a Diet Coke and immediately drink the whole contents?
Well, I guess I'd go with the Mentos if those are the two choices.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what card you got, but my goodness.
I don't know if I like this game. That one's really, really.
You got to screen these cards, Ryan.
I know. Would you rather change your first name to its backwards spelling? Trying to think. Tam. Or your last name?
I guess I'd go with Tam.
Yeah.
Why not?
What is your name backwards?
Yeah.
Your last name.
I barely know it forward.
Right. How do you say it, by the way? I say Martoccio, but I actually I've never asked you.
That's probably correct. Martoccio is what we say.
It's probably correct.
No, because there's only like 38 of us in America, and we all say it differently.
But you guys say Martoccio.
Yes, the New York Martoccios say Martoccios.
Now you tell me.
Well, with a lot of them, it is a double C. It's probably the ch sound, but
it's probably right. Okay. I think so. Mine is eel.
Yeah, it was easy.
And nair.
Yeah,
either one. All right. Would you rather be unable to tell the difference between wallets and sandwiches, or between the phrase "I love you" and the phrase "pass the salt"?
I love you and salt. I mean,
yeah,
why not?
All right. Here's a good one. Would you rather have your favorite celebrity as your personal assistant, or $100,000?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd probably take the 100,000 because the celebrity is going to leave in like the next day.
Well, they have to stay a year.
Let's stay a year. And maybe I'd go with that one. If I get to pick my my new
Who would you pick if you could have a celebrity personal assistant?
I would have to seriously consider that, right? I mean, I'd totally change my favorite celebrity immediately. So
You
it'd
would
be
change it?
someone, it'd be someone in business.
Is it Ryan Reynolds?
Sure, why not?
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
It's like that's I think that's Lindsay's, my wife's celebrity crush. And then I'm like, wait, I think he's mine too. So I think he's
Well,
probably
Brad Paisley's my male celebrity crush for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that would be cool. Like if he was your personal assistant for a year.
You like sing me songs, it'd be amazing. I wouldn't even work. Just
Imagine how the Facebook Lives, the YouTube. I mean, your
I'd blow up.
business, yeah, we worth way more than $100,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I'm glad we talked through that.
See, this is why you should have coaches. I mean, Ryan is amazing, right? This is sounds like our monthly calls.
This is exactly what we do on our coaching sessions, guys. We just play Would You Rather, and then it turns into like Matt's like, thanks for all the help. I'm like, you're welcome. All right. Would you rather have whatever I'm thinking tweeted to, whatever. I'm sorry. Would you rather have whatever you're thinking tweeted to your parents every 10 minutes or vice versa?
What I'm thinking to them. I mean, they basically had to see it anyway with these Captain Matt videos.
Nothing changes. All right. I think that's it.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, thanks for playing.
Yeah, man.
Another segment of Would You Rather. Matt Martoccio.
There you go.
Matt Martoccio, everybody. All right. Thanks, Matt.
Absolutely.
Okay. So before we've still got some more questions before we wrap up.
Sure.
I wanted to, I guess, ask you, like, you've got Nate that helps you out. You're working with me. What's your experience? Is that okay? I didn't really tell you I'd ask you this, but I wanted to kind of just ask you what your experience has been with coaching. If you want to talk specifically about landscape lighting secrets, that's fine. I try to not make it like a sales pitch thing, but just kind of like your experience in general with coaching.
Yeah, turns out I love it. I wish I was willing to invest in it sooner. Ryan Lee, that's you, as a coach. I have Nate Mullen as a lighting mentor, and I also pay Garrett White as, I guess, a coach. And that I just started that last January, so January 21. And
is that when you started with Garrett?
I did, yeah. I was buying a new house, bigger bills, and I wanted to cry, right? I wanted to curl up into a ball and cry. So turns out I was only focused on one thing, whatever. So I was focused on business, and I know you say it differently, but it's body, being, balance, and business, 4 core areas of your life. And I was only ever focusing on business, or I'd focus on family. So it was always just, one would go down while the other one went up. It was never across the board. And then, so I started taking time every morning to myself, about 2 hours to get right and focus on everything. And then everything starts going up. Not to say that there's not bad days, but that changed everything for me, which is why I was willing to go meet. I met Nate Mullen because I bought his book on Amazon and called him. And he said, if you get on a plane tomorrow, I'll mentor you. And I never even left the East Coast. I hopped on a plane and went to California.
That's awesome. It's like crazy.
And then when I met you at Trans World, and I wasn't sure exactly. I was the same thing. Like, okay, I have Nate. Does Ryan? I think even during our first phone call, I was like, you think that's going to be a conflict? Turns out it's not. It's totally different. Like, Nate is amazing. His design's off the charts, crazy. But you offer something. You're totally different. Like, even your event, like Mastermind, I loved it because I don't think we talked about lighting once, besides when Tom was doing his talk about.
I had to let Tom do it. Yeah, that was like there was a 30-minute area where we let Tom talk about lighting. I was like, "Hey, Tom, the floor is yours. Appreciate your support." And then I was like, "All right, that's enough about lighting. Let's get back to life. Let's get back to business."
So how I see it is, I know your name is Landscape Lighting Secrets, but you're more of a business coach to me. Like, so your business, design, and life, and I pay for everything, and it's been worth every investment because like I said, as long as you're one chapter ahead of me on the question I'm asking you, you're going to be able to advise me, right? I mean,
Like, where's that book?
right.
Coaching
Yeah,
people from New York. Okay, we're about to do the call.
that's right. Yeah, I tell people all the time. I highly recommend it. To vet them. Obviously, there's a lot of choices, right? But one of the hardest things when you are the business owner, everything is you. You're the end. You don't ask anybody else. You make the decision. I love having accountability, right? So you can call me out on when I say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going back to a 4-man crew. I'm going to hit eject," all that stuff. So it's been literally life changing. I am a different person from last January to now, and I'm so glad with everyone I've met along the way. But you've been tremendous. Even like I think you laughed about it, but full potential, like that was worth every penny I paid you, and that's all. Full potential. I was always, you're getting the full design or nothing. That's it. You don't get anything else. And then I think one time in a call, you're like, well, what if you just said like, well, this is the full potential, but you can start somewhere. And I was like, first I was probably like, F you, I'm done. Shut up, Ryan. I'm not listening to you.
This is a waste of money.
That's right. And then it really
What I
sunk
want to
in.
hear.
Yeah, exactly. And it sunk in, man. And boy, did it sink in big time. It changed everything real quick. And I say, everyone even jokes about it. Is this full potential, Matt, or is it like,
Awesome. That's right.
I do it across all the businesses, even the marketing thing. Like, hey, this is your full potential. Okay, I wanted to give you the best that I can do, full potential, and then put it on them. You scale it back so that inevitably, when you say, "How come you didn't do this?" I can say, "Oh, that was in the full potential plan." But it was a mindset shift of people don't hate you if they can't afford your entire design.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. I'm glad you shared it. Did you think, tell me the truth, did you think you might have been getting ripped off a little bit when you joined? And you're like, am I making the wrong decision here?
Oh, 100%. Right. I was like, how much is it? And you gave me the offer of like, you can do a month, you can do a year. I'm like, no, man, I got Christmas cash right now. I can pretend I never had this money. So if this doesn't work out, that sucks, but yeah, it didn't suck. So congrats.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you real quick about what kind of your morning routine, as I think that's been life-changing for you. Just give me just a quick version of your morning routine, your gratitude journal, some of those things that you do.
Yeah. So I exercise every morning, whether it's just stretching or, running around my pool or doing some sit-ups, whatnot. So I sweat every day in the morning. I read the Bible, spend some time with God. I do meditating, which is just breathing exercise or thinking on something. And I do 2 gratitude journal entries, basically, which is just letting 2 different people know I'm grateful for them. And it's just spending time in gratitude is huge in and of itself. And and then from there, it's usually I go wake up my wife and son and then go spend some time with them. So, that first 2 hours, I'm ready to roll, right? I mean, I've already deposited into all the areas of my life. And
That is awesome.
It was really, I think you've gotten a gratitude stack. And,
well, I was really grateful for it until I just found out that there's 2 a day. I'm like, so that means there's like 700 people you're grateful in a year. I thought I was one of a kind, man.
Well, technically it's 2 people you let know. You don't have to do a gratitude stack. That would take all day if I did a gratitude stack. And, even my wife is always the second person, always. So,
oh, that makes me feel
I
better.
love you because I honor you because those type of things. And, that for me, it's helped my marriage tremendously because, you think, I know you're a man, so we always think like, oh, we tell our wives all the time, we love them, all this stuff. But when every day, when you're sending a message, you got to pick little specific things. I tell you what, she feels good because she knows, like, and now I'm actually verbally telling her, like, thank you for making sure dinner is magically made, right? It doesn't all just come out of like a box. Like, it's amazing, right? So just those things. It was scary to send to people to begin with. It was even scary to send to my wife. Like, I've learned to be very open and vulnerable. I think even at Lighting Mastermind, I was talking about some of the drinking days, and one of the guys laughed. He's like, I don't think I've met someone just so, here it is. I'm open. I got nothing to hide anymore. So yeah, it's been awesome though.
I love it. Well, honestly, yeah, you sent me, I guess you call it the gratitude stack. That was awesome. That was like one of literally the nicest, like best things I've ever received. And it like
Awesome.
it changes your world, and then it changes my like thoughts. Same thing, like, well, what am I doing to show other people gratitude and stuff like that? And so I'm glad you shared it. Thanks for being willing to share it here, because I think more of us need that. We need that reminder to show gratitude. And literally, like, the people out there that are successful, and not just like financially, but happy, they're doing these things. They're spending time working on themselves. They're spending time telling people they're grateful and all those things. So I'm not surprised that you're happy and you're successful and all these things, because you're doing the right things to do that. So
it's easy to go down that slide of always getting stuck, and especially as a business owner, you well know, if you don't carve out time in the morning, for me at least, it's never happening, because the moment I check my email, it's game on business. And then I'm like, oh wait, did I say goodbye to Tiffany? I think I did, like, so I don't even I turned off my phone doesn't get emails anymore. I can check them, no dings, no notifications, no anything, because those first 2 hours of my morning are my morning 7 days a week. Even in Utah, I did it. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, man, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you. Not just doing this podcast and stuff like that. I know it's going to help tremendous. It's going to help a lot of people. But being a member of Landscape Lighting Secrets, coming to the mastermind. I mean, the mastermind was amazing for so many different reasons, but it was because of the people that were in the room.
Right.
And I know it would not have been the same if you weren't there. Being vulnerable and stoking up discussions and helping people being uncomfortable, and just all that stuff. So I can't thank you enough. So thanks so much, man. And look forward to continuing our friendship that I'm going to force you to have the rest of your life.
Sounds good. No, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about lighting and myself.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you want to get in touch, it's Matt Martoccio with the Christmas Guys and Barefoot Lighting. So see you guys next week.